A little bit too long of silence, huh? Okay. The Americans, Season 1, Episode 6. The inevitable has finally happened. No, it's not me getting a gosh darn lint roller. That hasn't happened yet. But this episode starts out with our two spies. They're in the midst of their work, business as usual. Wind up having both of them getting kidnapped. I never understood why in movies and TV they have this desire to shake the camera so much when there's a fight scene. I guess it's done in order to create chaos, but it's definitely not necessary. Why don't you steady the camera and stop doing those cut shots and just focusing on the two people who are fighting, and that will be a lot better. My opinion. May not be yours or anybody else's, just my opinion. Anyway, I'm automatically dropping everything. Now, this happened to be cooking at the time, so I had to kind of snap out of it. But I automatically am completely entranced in what's going on. I'm like, come on, what's gonna happen? Decent fight. Well, of course, they're continuing to portray the female character as a much stronger person than the male person, even though and this one, it was odd because I say that because they chose to show her fight and show him basically being taken off guard, and he winds up getting more punishment done to him than she does. And then it turns out that it's their own people that captured them and is interrogating them, trying to see if they're the moles, because I think I mentioned in the last upload about the Americans. They put some big emphasis on there's a mole, there's a rat, whatever the case is. But they wind up basically taking out their frustrations on the fact that you would think it's us out of all people. So they take it out on their handlers, which I thought was funny. They deserve that, because out of all the people that are suspected of being a mole, why those two? I mean, those are the ones that got the information. But hey, anything's possible. I'm not saying it's not, and this is fiction, so don't get too riled up now. But then again, their relationship is on such thin ice that, well, I can't even say that, because these are pretty dire consequences. I feel like the actors are doing such a good job of portraying these things as being minor events. But I mean, he got kidnapped. You thought your cover was blown, so that could rattle the best of people's cages, I guess. And in this instance, it does. And then they have another falling out, these two, and he still hasn't succumbed to his desires or his wants to bang this chick that he's talking to for the job, of course. But she does a call back to one of her. I'm making it more complicated than it is. She does a call back to a individual who she shared some confidences in early on in her assignment. But good to have friends like that. And there's something else I have to say about this. Now, the whole time I've been watching this series, they're portraying America as a really rapey culture. just throwing that out there, because it seems like every time the daughter gets out on a little adventure, she winds up almost like getting taken advantage of by somebody, like every single time. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is that an ongoing theme? But it's also good to see that her younger brother stepped up and saved the day in the situation. They wind up having to hitchhike because their parents are kidnapped and not picking them up, not doing their parently duties. So they wind up hitchhiking back, and some weirdo picks them up, of course. And the story goes on from there. The kid winds up saving the day. The younger brother, they wind up getting home and creating their own lie. And the parents, of course, are lying, but it's not like a white lie. Well, I wouldn't say that's a white lie, but it's not the same. Actually, it probably is closer to the same thing, but it's weird because their lie puts them in jeopardy, and also the parents' lie puts not only their lives in jeopardy, but the kids' lives in jeopardy. The kids like kind of like, hey, remember that time when we were younger and we got that hitchhiking and that guy tried to do stuff to me and you saved my life? Also, you want to take a look at the neighbor. Now, of course, he's falling for this pretty Russian secretary that he's basically turned into the mole. So he's like, man, they're putting him in a pretty rough situation here, causing her to, of course, to do crazy stuff to get more information. All the while, he's like, nah, she's pretty shaken up and terrified about this situation. So he devises a pretty ingenious plan to get the heat off of her. Take some diamonds, calls in a favor, put the diamonds in a back tea, because the guy is drinking tea. Then puts a bug in the guy's radio or something like that. So, and then continuously, I'm smelling, I'm cooking some steak for lunch too. So I gotta go check that out. But anyway, yeah, it smells so good. What does he do? I gotta get that spinach dip running too. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about lunch and dinner and stuff like that. What was this? He winds up, yeah, so the Russian guy, he winds up getting pinched with all this stuff, and it makes it seem like, hey, you're a double agent for sure, for sure. Not actually a double agent, but you're the mole for sure. And he's like, no, he's denying it. But you know, at this point, it's no need. So they fly him back to Russia, and I guess all the stories are true. Siberian death camp or prison or something or other. What else happens in this episode? Siberian death camp for that guy. They still take time. You know what they've done so well up until this point. Well, because I haven't seen anything past this point. But you know what they've done so well up until this point in this series, balancing each character's progression. What I mean by that is, so you've got the man and the woman who are the two main characters. They follow them closely, and you look at their relationship and the dynamics that are involved in that, the ups and the downs, them falling out, them falling in love, all that type of stuff. Their infidelities, them loving their job a little too much in certain aspects, and then you have the relationship between the FBI neighbor and the crumbling of that relationship. They don't necessarily focus too much on his relationship with his children, but they take a general look, an overall look at the complete relationship I think it's pretty good. Also, they take a look at, they take the time to look at the relationship between the two kids of the two main characters and how tight they are and what they're willing and not willing to do for each other, I guess, in situations of, situations that hold a lot of gravity. Also, they take a look at all the relationships that are created between the two main characters and the many hats that they have to wear, literally, in order to make it through the day. I mean, they're constantly changing up what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's another thing is at this point I've actually become so accustomed to it that I don't even worry about the things changing so quickly. It's like, okay, 1 minute they're making breakfast and talking about whatever happened the next day and what they need to sharpen and what the kids need to sharpen up on, and sending them off to school. And the next minute they're decoding some secret message and they're holding a sniper rifle, fighting for their life with a kitchen knife or something like that. I'm actually getting used to that, which is pretty weird, because I think I mentioned that probably including this upload, I've mentioned that about every episode I've done a reaction to up until this point as well. But I feel like it's commonplace, and I come to expect it as well. So looking forward to the next episode. If you like me ranting and raving about TV shows, I have other videos of Breaking Bad. I've done the miniseries Chernobyl, Futurama, the Godfather Harlem. Go check those out and also subscribe.